Hi, beautiful people. How are ya? I hope you're having a great day. Do you live in an area of the United States to view the eclipse? Did you see it? If you stay to the end, I'll share a few videos and photos that my husband and I took. He had a whole setup out there. He'd been planning for it for a few weeks, and he even took the day off. I guess we're a little bit geeky around here. And that's okay, right? I need your help. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. If you want to learn more about fibromyalgia and chronic pain, this is the place for you. We look at research, I share my thoughts and opinions, and I make suggestions for you. Some of them are things that I've tried myself, and some of them are things that research says are good for us, or you have said is good for you, and maybe it'll work for the rest of us. I love involving you, beautiful people, so that we can learn together. I'm going to start doing weekly videos instead of 2 videos a week, and we'll see how it goes. I feel like I'm just struggling every day to get caught up, and lately I've just kind of slacked because it's hard when you don't have the energy or motivation to sit here for hours. I'll still put out shorts, multiple shorts a week. And I think that pretty much every new YouTuber feels like they're not growing fast enough. I don't know. I have a very niche channel since mine is specifically chronic pain and fibromyalgia and all that entails, a lot of things, but I try to keep it entertaining too. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'm okay with constructive criticism. I think it helps us to grow. The long videos that I put out take me days to edit, just a long time. And that's my fault for not knowing when to stop talking, I guess. So would you prefer shorter videos that got right straight to the point? Or do you enjoy the interaction that we do throughout these videos? It's something I'm really interested in knowing. I mean, this channel's for you. It helps me too, but it is for you. This is an educational channel. So if you're not feeling educated, that's not a good thing. Today is a video on the gluten-free diet and how it might affect people with fibromyalgia. According to research, in a week, the video will be on the low glycemic index diet. I think we've been looking forward to that. We had to get through a few series before we could get here, but we're finally there. So here we go. Restrictive diets have become a thing for many people with fibromyalgia. How effective are these diets? Is there a diet that helps everyone with fibromyalgia? Well, according to research, no, because our bodies respond differently to different foods. Gluten-free, vegetarian, keto. It's possible that you'll find certain foods that trigger a fibromyalgia flare, or foods that ease your pain. And maybe for me, those foods don't work the same way in my body. According to most researchers, it's important to eat a healthy diet, well balanced. The foods that they say that we should be eating include fruits and vegetables, lean protein, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D rich foods, and whole grains. But limiting certain foods may be helpful, such as caffeine. I don't know that I'll ever be caffeine free. We'll see. But I am down to a half cup of coffee. Cheers. But also, some people find that dairy, food sweetened with aspartame, highly processed and fried foods, and nightshade vegetables are troublesome for them. But remember, what works for one person may not work for another. Recently, I was told that I didn't do the keto diet right because I couldn't maintain it. I didn't really care for it that much. It wasn't awful, but I didn't care for it that much. I did lose weight on it, but after about 3 months, I stopped losing weight and it became frustrating. It was time to stop. So I think the most important thing that we can do for us, for ourselves personally, is to follow a diet that strongly supports our immune system. Many patients choose gluten-free diet that restrict their intake of cereals and breads. Of course, if you have celiac disease and fibromyalgia, you'll find a significant improvement in your symptoms and possibly in your tender points. You may have less gastrointestinal complaints, pain, and tiredness by following a gluten-free diet. Obviously, if you have celiac disease, you can't have gluten. However, not all patients with celiac disease and fibromyalgia found their musculoskeletal symptoms improved after a gluten-free diet. If you have fibromyalgia and IBS and a diagnosis of intraepithelial lymphocytosis in stage 1 Marsh, you may have a significant decrease in gastrointestinal complaints, pain, and fatigue, as well as mental and physical clarity improvement by following a gluten-free diet. Intraepithelial lymphocytosis is when the number of white blood cells are elevated in the gastrointestinal tract, and Marsh Stage 1 means lymphocytes are increased in the small intestine, which could be a sign of Crohn's disease, celiac disease, or some other gastrointestinal condition. Intraepithelial lymphocytosis is found in the epithelium, the outer layer of the GI tract, which could be your stomach, any part of the small intestine, or the large intestine. Sometimes people with fibro self-diagnose a sensitivity to gluten called non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And that's a thing, truly. Eliminating gluten significantly decreased tender points in some research studies, and some lost weight, which may have contributed to their well-being. Improvements after following a gluten-free diet in people with fibro during studies often also had a gluten-related disorder or intraepithelial lymphocytosis. Some studies were not placebo-controlled, except for one that I found that used another diet as a control. And there may have been a bias that occurred because of weight loss. And in some studies, there were small numbers. So I think you have to use your best judgment when it comes to any diet for what might work for you. So it isn't clear whether gluten-free is helpful in a person with fibromyalgia without gluten sensitivity. What's your experience? I do monitor how much bread I eat, mainly because it's an easy thing for me to eliminate to prevent weight gain. I'm not a big fan of bread, so that's why it's easy for me. If I were, it'd be more difficult. My husband loves bread, but as you'll see in the next video, we'll talk more about that. Do you love bread and gluten products? How does it affect your system? Because this is about you and how food affects you. And I love sharing my experiences with you as well. I hope you don't mind. Did you get tested for gluten sensitivity? Do you have celiac disease or another disorder like IBS or intraepithelial lymphocytosis? So removing gluten is a necessity. These things matter when it comes to food. An elimination diet may help to rule out foods that cause pain and other symptoms, or foods that help the patient to feel better. This might be due to a reduction in inflammation that complicates the disease. Food issues may be triggered by our sensitivity to pain. Food intolerance and hypersensitivity affects around half of all people living with fibromyalgia. So allergy does play a role. About 49% of people with fibromyalgia have at least one food allergy, while 50% have a milk allergy and an intolerance to wheat. Wow. So it's important to identify food intolerances, avoid glutamate possibly, and compensate for nutritional deficiencies. So I hope this made sense to you, and I hope you learned something. I send you gentle hugs and support. Love you.